It is October 11th, 2022, 7:01 PM. I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills Town Board meeting to order. Notice is posted at the Town Hall and on the town's website. Can we get a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt October's agenda.
Second.
Printed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from September 13th.
Second.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Robin.
You guys are quick today.
I didn't say anything.
Oh,
Just kidding. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries to approve the minutes from September 13th, 2022. Approval of the treasurer's report.
You have to do the amendment first.
yeah. I'll make a motion that we approve the September's amendments for the disbursements from $121,288.20 to $121,287.66.
Second that motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries to approve the amended disbursements. Approval of the treasurer's report.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries to approve the treasurer's report. Approval of the town board expense sheets. Jim had gas at one and Robin had.
Yeah, I had mileage for the
Yep.
road tour we took and then,
I'll make a motion to approve the expense sheets.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries to approve the expense sheets. Approval of general fund vouching.
I'll make a motion to approve October's disbursements of $45,301.83.
second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Reports. Sergeant Miller.
All right. So we'll start with the police report for patrol, regular patrol. We had a total of 28 hours this month on patrol. 2 complaints were handled, 2.5 hours on those complaints total. 2 arrests were made, no crashes, 13 traffic stops, 8 citations were issued. 5 hours spent on speeding enforcement, 1 municipal ordinance was issued, 4 park checks were done. That's it for that. As far as boat patrol goes, for the month of September, total 11.5 hours were spent on the boat. Out of that, 1 citation was issued. We had some expenses for winterizing the boat, which is $75.83. That's as far as it goes. As far as the boat goes, if you guys weren't aware, this was kind of a slow year for us as far as manpower. We had one of our regular boat officers got hired full-time, so we lost him. He was one of our primary guys. And then the other primary guy had taken another position. So we were really short, and we had a really hard time hiring new people, as most places do. So it was just a bad year. We didn't get many hours in it like we used to, so hopefully next year is different. We already have some people that are interested. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, it sounded like there was a couple possible interested.
Yeah, I got 2 that basically, 2 retirees that one already agreed to do it, and he already does the boat, and that guy that you talked about, sounds like he's on board. He just has to do a few things to get certified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's
So-
awesome.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's not easy right now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anywhere, everybody's struggling with it. Doesn't matter what municipality you're in or county you're in.
That's it.
Thanks, Sergeant Miller. Great job. All right, Plan Commission report. Jim.
We had 1 petition from Cheryl Garrett, second time. They were here 2 months ago, but they came back for the rezoning of the 1 lot to natural resources with a 20-foot access easement. So that was approved.
Good. Cambridge Fire and EMS report, Dave.
Fire commissioners met last Thursday, and basically two things came out of the meeting. The big one was the budget. The other thing that came out of it was there was a motion made that any single purchase over $500,000 needs to come back to the towns or the village for the board approval. So I think fair enough, but the kicker to that is according to the IGA, majority rules. The only thing this is really going to do is if a municipality votes no, then that's the way I have to vote, is no, if you guys don't approve it. But if the other four vote yes, it automatically goes in. So it's majority rule. So I don't really quite totally understand it, but I guess it's fair enough that before a large purchase is made over $500,000 that, you know, it's brought up and voted on at our level also, so.
Where did they come up with that figure? I mean, where did they, not to throw you, I'm just curious because $200,000 is a lot of money. I don't know, is 500,000, is that like the minimum in the fire world, is that?
I don't know if it's geared more towards the fire truck.
Yeah, okay.
Because the new ambulance that is being purchased, you know, that's 3 1/4.
Okay.
And I think we're gonna get it for around 3 by the time we're done. Of course, any fire truck you buy is usually always over 500,000.
Half
So.
or half, yeah.
But again, it's you know, majority is gonna rule. Most of the night was spent on the budget. And one of the things that we did on this budget was to give a true reflection of actually what the EMS costs and what the fire department costs was. We took away all the things on the, what was a commissioner budget, which was the payments on the fire trucks and any other equipment that has been purchased. So both of the fire trucks went onto the fire side and off the commission side. So, and when you look through this thing, you're gonna see there's a lot of things that we did share, like the phone, and little piddly stuff, so it's no real big deal. So anyway, I think what that does is it gives a true reflection of what it costs, which, you know, I think that kind of needs to be the way it's ran, even, you know, with their counterparts, so just plant the button. I will give you this, Robin, you can have the whole thing. So at the end of the day, what happened was, obviously with any other emergency service, everything is up. So, last year, bear with me for a second here. Last year, our cost was $29,000, just in hair over. This year, the town of Lake Mills, our cost is gonna be $38,147. So it's up 3.99%, which we're kind of on the low end. Rockdale's, theirs were up 2.1%. Oakland was up 47.61%. And town of Lake Mills, I mentioned 3.99. Christiana was 20.26%, and Cambridge, the portions in Dane and Jefferson was up 26.04. So there is, you know, obviously things are more and more expensive all the time, so it's gonna take another chunk out. So I don't know if you wanna study that or just give it to Robin for our budget numbers.
Maybe just get copies of it at some point so we can look at it.
That's about it.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Joint Rock Lake Committee report, they meet on the 13th, so they do not have a report. Report on the city, county, state. The only thing I've had a couple of things. City, supposedly we're supposed to maybe have another work session for the EMS topic at some point. It sounded like the new manager was bending the county's ear on that subject as well. And as far as the state's concerned, the only thing I heard back from the state is that we did not get the grant for the Mud Lake Road project. So the goal, I guess, would be at some point to potentially re-up for an LRIP next year for that same project, since all the work was pretty much done from an application standpoint, putting that together. So that was the news we got back. They had a record amount of applications apparently for that, so, which was not surprising. But who knows? I mean, the way everything's gone so far, I mean, people may be getting into these things, maybe they'll drop out. You don't know how this is all gonna shake out yet, so it'll be interesting, I guess. Okay, ETZ report.
No meetings, and by the way, that expires next month, so
Yep.
I think just take it off,
Okay.
Yep.
and the plan commission could take it off both agendas.
Parks Committee report, Parks did not meet, so no Parks Committee report. Town Hall Facilities Committee,
All right, we are continuing to work on the design, kind of honing it in with HSR. We are starting to discuss with Eller some financing options. Updated the timeline, and then we asked the town board to talk with the potential site's property owner to see where we're at with that, so.
excellent.
When is that, is there a projected time for that? To start? Or are we
To-
way far?
Potentially build something?
Yeah.
What was that at the time? We had to
Well,
have
we
it
were hoping
approved
to
first.
do the presentations to the public starting in January, and then hopefully April, get approval at the annual
Electors.
meeting,
Yeah.
electors meeting.
Okay.
And if we do get approval in April, it would be August before they would dig any foundations. It would take that long to draw up the plans and get bids. So projected start, if everything went great, August.
Okay, just curious.
You're right. Period of public comment. At this time, it's the public is welcome to speak. Please keep it at 3 minutes, and come up to the podium and present your name and address. Anyone out there? Going once? Going twice? 3 times? All right. Moving on. Applications, discussion or decision of request made by Cheryl Jarrett, rezone from A1 outlaw to natural resources zone at W7820 Conservation Road.
I don't have a drawing, but this is basically what was done at the plan commission. I don't know if you want this thing. It's kind of that 2-acre lot.
Yeah,
back was left A1. Now county wants it to be natural resources.
Okay.
It has to connect to the parent property, which is a 22-acre property.
Okay.
So they need a 20-foot access easement from the parent property back to that property, and then we want to rezone it natural resources. Correct?
Yeah, it's required to be natural resources for it to be the 20-foot easement.
And the easement's going to be on your 1.95 acre parcel.
Yes, yeah.
And you don't have a real definite drawing of that yet?
We're gonna work with the county on where it might need to go, whether it go directly through what would be our lot or off of the road back.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So I make a motion to approve the 2-acre lot to rezone from A1 to natural resources, and that 20-foot access easement is provided from the parent parcel to that natural resources parcel.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Okay, we'll get things sent off to the county for you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Discussion only of proposed facilities at Sandy Beach by Tori Smith. Is he here tonight?
No,
Doesn't look like it. All right, moving on. Hopefully you'll come at some point. Discussion or decision or request for special event permit by Terrana Brewing for the Terrana Beer Run on November 5th, 2022. Did you get a chance to look at this?
Yeah.
Sergeant Miller?
Yeah, I think, me and Stacy talked over the phone.
Okay.
About it, yeah, as far as what we can do. And, we have somebody available to help with traffic control on the north side of the lake. To help at the beginning of it, it sounds like that's the more congested time.
Okay.
And then the only time they really cross the road, I guess that would potentially be a problem, but they should be split up, would be when they get to Highway S between Elm Point and Finch Brothers Road. By that time, we could have that officer kind of rotate down there and help out with that a little bit, but it'd be very sporadic at that point. But we talked about having her post signs on each side of that area, something to notify the vehicular traffic that there's bikes on the road, use more caution. Do you have those, you have decided what type of signs or what you want them to say?
We have, 18 by 24. Anyway, we have these plastic signs that have our event logo on it, and then we just write in big letters in black Sharpie next to it. That's what we use for marking the road, for turns and things like that as well. So we would just put like runners ahead kind of
Okay.
thing and set it out there. They're like this.
Okay.
And on both sides of the road, so that
And you think by the time they get to that point, the officer that's on the north end of the lake, would that be basically cleared out by the time roughly the other people would be crossing that area?
I would have to look at my spreadsheet, which I can pull up, to see what the times are, because they go down Short Hills, and they go down Cedar Lane, then they go through Court Park, down Elm Point. So for the most part, by that time, they have spread out because they've passed through 2 water stations, so some stop, some don't, use the restroom, things like that, so they're not as congested as coming right down Highway B.
Sure.
So more than likely, that first, it's really like an hour, hour and a half of time and then depending upon how fast they're running.
Sure.
Um,
Okay, well, when he gets cleared, he'll just go down there, it just helps slow stuff down, but that's the only concern I had, everything else seems to be fine.
The only thing is I paid $100 and the fee is actually $500.
yes, I do have to check with me.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the Tyrannina Beer Run for 11/5/2022
Second.
with the condition that you get the $400 check.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Good luck. Have good, safe fun.
Pick up your sign when you're done. Please.
He follows in the van, the last runners, until they get to that point, because that's actually kind of our halfway point, is at Finch Brothers, they get on the bridge to Drummond.
Sure.
So typically, he'll either pick up signs then when he's following, or we send out people to pick up the rest area equipment, all the supplies and trash. So our people pick them up then on the way. So they're not out there very long.
All right.
We try not to put them out too early either, because they get moved or stolen, so.
Yes.
Might be a good idea to just have safety vests at some point too, because drivers these days, people are picking up signs on the sides of the
Oh,
roads
yeah,
and stuff.
we
Just
put everybody in
yeah.
orange and yellow.
good, good bright colors or whatever, sure.
That's you get to sign that.
All right, moving on. Old business, discussion or decision of status of Lake Mills EMS services. I don't know if we need to open this back up or not.
I think it's still on table. Yeah, it's on table.
Yeah, and there's nothing,
We haven't seen anything come from him, so.
No, and he asked a couple of questions, but he didn't get back to me or anything, so don't worry. All right, discussion or decision of proposed guardrail south end of Crossman Road, haven't heard anything back on that, so moving on. Discussion and decision of proposed text amendments for a bundle of ordinances being considered Include 1-2, 1-4, 1-5, 17, 18, 114, 116, 27, 34, 311, 53, 58, 511, 512, and 64.
Okay, so I posted all of the drafts of those on the town website. So I'm making a bunch of additional copies. So they can be reviewed not only by you guys, but they're ready to go then to the public hearing part too. I'll just do the notes for the public hearing.
Okay.
Question.
Mhm.
I got some, I'll hand you this.
Okay.
There's a few typos and things.
Okay.
Clear them up. Nothing big, no
Nothing
major changes.
Okay.
Other than, 116, I questioned that one. That was the one on the, Town of Lake Mills destruction of obsolete records.
Yep.
You had a sample ordinance from the state of Wisconsin on that one.
Yes.
Do you want to redo that ordinance?
It would be nice if we would follow theirs, because the state of Wisconsin with the Historical Society, they put together an updated retention schedule for that.
Okay.
So it lays it all out. I already use it anyways.
I know you use it, but it's not really, we could incorporate that into
Right.
this ordinance.
Right.
This one.
That's why I given that to you guys earlier on. And
Yeah. And I think we should take the time and just rewrite this one, have the attorney rewrite it.
you want the attorney to rewrite that one?
Well, yeah, I think so.
And that's why I pulled the sample one out, because that's already been,
Well, that's already gone through an attorney probably.
right, it's already
yeah.
gone through WTA
Yeah.
attorneys.
Okay,
We could just replace what we have with that one, is kind of what my thought process was, but,
okay,
To
that's
be,
fine.
to be consistent.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
no, I agree with that, because that's already gone through.
Okay,
Right.
so that one, okay,
Yeah.
so just replace that one, so then
Okay.
you'd have
Yep.
to reformat it.
I can do
Yes.
that.
All right, then, 3-2, I think that's the, sorry, I took time to do this. Regulation of dumping and waste disposal. It's not listed on the list here.
Yeah, that's not on the list.
But it
No.
is, you did have it changed.
Okay.
That
On
was
the
a
list
few-
on the agenda here? Is that
Yeah.
what we're
It's
missing?
not on the agenda list,
Okay.
yeah.
But I have it, it's been marked up, there's a couple of.
Yeah, we've been working on that one, I know we have. I think it's just such
These
a
minor,
long
minor
list.
typos. 5-3, I don't think there's a 5-3.
Can I recommend we don't do so many all at once?
I was wondering when you were gonna say something about that.
Yeah, it's way too many to juggle.
5-8, 5-3 and 5-8, I don't know, I didn't see them, I don't know if they're on your,
They are on the website. I feel like those were ones that I was still working on typing up, because we didn't have a digital copy of them, they're so old. I'll
No,
double
we
check
still,
that, though.
we still have time to get these through to,
We can hold off on doing the public hearing yet if you want to get this
yeah, I was
all
gonna say,
done.
because we can,
We can bump up public hearing to December.
exactly, yeah, and it'll still be done before the New Year's.
so you want to check on 5-3 and 5-8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're in there, I missed them. 5-12's in here, 5-13, 5-15, and 5-16, I think those, I've got them in here, you gave us copies of them, they aren't listed here, I don't know if we never passed them.
Which ones? 5?
5-13, 5-15, and 5-16.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's
those.
regulating launch fees at certain launch ramps on Rock Lake.
Mhm.
5-15 is Joint Rock Lake Committee, okay, that one's
Yeah, that one's
probably
on
not
hold.
finalized.
That one's
but I
not
think-
finalized either.
I think the
so-
launch one,
And-
look back at that one.
Can't remember if we passed it.
I feel like we did. That was an easy one to
Okay,
pass,
well,
I
you can check
think.
that one.
That
And
was
then-
one where we just had to refer to the fee schedule, I think.
Right. And 5-16, placement of homes and structures on parcels outside of, there's some, and that may have been passed too, but there's a, because I remember saying that the time needed to be changed on the form, the review form. Anyway, you can check that one and see what.
I feel like that was in that first group that
It
were
might
just
have been.
simple, yeah.
And then 6-4, there's just a little typo here.
Okay. We can hold off on doing anything more with them until we get these all
Yep,
figure it out there.
sounds good to me.
Yep.
So, it's, talking about updating ordinances, Robin, we were working on that, I know we updated something, that 4-1, or last year we updated it, and, there were some issues, do you remember? We don't have to get it, I know you got a lot on, but it's got me thinking about
I was gonna say, I'm not
That's
gonna
a
remember all
traffic
these.
code one, I think.
Not
Traffic one, right?
Traffic one, because I remember traffic one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that one another time.
Okay. Get it
I think it
honed
got
down to
updated.
exactly what you want, then give it to me.
Yeah, I think it did get
I
up,
think it got updated.
I think it got updated, but
May
we,
not
If
have.
there's another update, we can,
I don't think there was, it was just that we updated it, and then the wrong copy got put out, and then it was like, we caught it later, and I think,
okay.
oh,
we might have fixed that.
okay.
It was updated, but the old ordinance, I think, got signed on accident somehow, it was like a typo thing. So we still had everything old, even though you guys approved
I feel
it.
like that was already approved through that first group that we had done.
I think
with the
so.
easy-
I think it was
easy
one of
fix
the
ones.
first groups, yep.
Okay. Disregard.
That was the one you took out all the statute numbers and just made it
Yes.
simple.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yep.
Yep, just updated statute.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right. Discussion or decision of possible change to the Cambridge EMS service for area town Lake Mills residents. I think we're gonna have another work session or something soon for that,
Nothing's been talked about.
so there's nothing we can really do right now.
Yeah. The only problem I had with it was the $85,000 buy-in. I think that's,
Yeah, that's
That's-
high.
you know, the thing of it is, my thought is if you were gonna go off, equalized value, then we'd be buying a bigger chunk into the fire station. But if we work off a, per capita basis, basically we're hiring, the EMS to come in and perform a function. So my opinion is I don't think I have a problem with it.
Yeah,
So that's the only thing that I kind of let those guys know, but there's.
no, I just wanna know if we need to go in and negotiate now, or if they've gone back and talked about it at all, or if they're gonna come back, or.
I can bug Paul a little bit, chief director, to see, you know, but yeah, nothing was really mentioned.
Okay, all right.
We can keep prodding the fire.
And we have no numbers from the city, correct?
No, there was talks of just
So-
getting another work session together, because they have a consultant, and the consultant's gonna, whatever, you know, November, I think they're supposed to maybe have a
So what do we
result.
got protection until June or July from the EMS? correct?
If we decide to keep at that rate, the $20 or whatever,
Yeah,
yeah.
so how are we gonna budget?
Yeah, that's, yeah,
Pretty tough.
Well, let's talk about that one, or think about that one.
that's gonna be tough, yeah, for that work session, that's for sure. But I think that's gonna be tough for everybody right now, because nobody really has an idea. The city doesn't even have an idea either. They're gonna be facing the same thing here. All right. Discussion or decision or recommendation regarding the AIS Citizens Monitoring Group. I don't really have much to say about that. I'm still going through that document. The only thing I have to say about it is I think there just needs to be separation between the two groups.
We're gonna discuss it, it's on table right now.
Oh, is it? Oh,
You
sorry.
want it off table? We're
I
ready.
didn't see it. No, I don't think there's a reason to. I'm not far enough into it, so. Rescind that statement.
Okay.
Discussion or decision of non-payment by the Jefferson County Drainage Board for reimbursements. I haven't heard anything back. I emailed them late today too, and I didn't even
He
get a
did send
response.
another email saying that he'll try and get something to us tomorrow morning.
You got one today yet?
Yeah.
Oh, after I sent the
Yeah.
email, all right, thanks. I don't remember if I saw that one or not.
That came really, I think I was eating dinner at the time.
He's been saying that for a couple of times now,
Yeah.
so that's why. I just wanted to dig like a date, like, is this gonna happen? Like,
Yeah.
next
Well, he
week,
had-
whatever, I don't care.
He
but-
had big files to go through, I know that, it was a lot to go through, but
All right, discussion or decision of attorney, recommendations to review the town's regulations of sex offenders residency restrictions due to the recent Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals decision.
So we got the the document back from the town attorney, Eric Larson. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the email, and then I provided a hard copy here tonight, so you had it was more examples of what other municipalities, why they've had it, or kind of how I understood it. He can't tell us we should have it or shouldn't have it, but
His recommendation, well, he didn't give a recommendation, but the whole thought behind it is, first off, we don't have one now. So it's a bad time to be getting one involved because there's a lot of lawsuits on this stuff. Until that all shakes out, if it ever does, it's not a good time to be writing an ordinance. You don't know much about it. The other thing is, he suggested check with other municipalities around us, because if they all have one and we don't, we become the dumping pot or the.
But they're everywhere right now.
Yeah.
City has them, we have them.
Town of Oakland, yeah.
I know, but they don't have ordinances, I'm talking.
Not
about.
ordinances, no,
Correct.
right.
So, that was another thing he said, if every municipality around you had an ordinance, then yeah, it'd probably be more of a reason to do one. My takeaway is that we don't.
leave it alone.
Yeah, we don't need one at this point.
I know for other ordinances, City of Fort Jackson has one. I know City of Jefferson has one. But if I'm not mistaken, that case is going to the Supreme Court. So this may all change anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about doing, if that was on the agenda, I would recommend just holding off anyways,
Yeah.
like Jim said, because it could all change
Oh,
again.
no, I 100% agree. And I mean, we are, like I said, we already have existing. And so then you put an ordinance into place, then what happens? Then you initiate lawsuits and stuff because you say you have to get out of our town or whatever, you know. I mean, it gets,
And all those ordinances too that I'm familiar with, it all relates to them getting the residents within a certain distance from a school, park. We're so spread out, it's gonna be very minimal, what it's gonna affect there. I mean, if you did the old school park thing, we have parks, so you would have some affected, but.
So is it safe to say we should just take this off the agenda?
yeah, for now.
Make a motion to remove it from the agenda until future date if needed.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. New business. Discussion or decision of a proposal to create an ordinance regulating chickens. Another controversial. There's complaints starting in the Short Hills residence area. There's chickens showing up. There's coops showing up right on lot lines.
I'm gonna just throw this out there.
They're making noise.
Last thing I need is another application coming in to deal with chickens. Do our current ordinances cover what's being complained about as far as the noises or anything like that?
Well, I would think noise would cover,
Public nuisance under noise?
it would, but then how are you gonna catch them?
Yeah.
Because the thing's making noise at 5 or 6 in the morning, and, you know, if we had a full-time police force, somebody could be sitting there waiting for them to do it. We don't, and so that.
But then I think it falls, even if you have farm animals, it falls under the Freedom of the Farm Act or whatever that one
Right.
is, where
Yeah.
farm animal, and I don't think you could even touch that anyways.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Right to
If,
farm or whatever they call it.
if we go down the route of having an ordinance like this, I don't recommend necessarily the permitting part, because it's required that they have to register these with, the state. It
Right.
should be more of like an ordinance that says we don't allow roosters, we don't allow this, but not go through the actual file an application with the clerk that's how many pages long. I think it's more of a passive way of saying, these are our regulations, stay within these. Then if there's a violation, then they need to be compliant with that.
Well, and I think maybe, you know, maybe not the permitting aspect, but the ordinance may make sense just from the standpoint. You know, the other thing, we do it for kennel licenses, and we're grilling them on what are they doing with their waste.
That's state law that we have to do the kennel license part of it.
Right, but what are they doing with chicken crap? That doesn't smell very good either. Are they throwing it in the neighbor's yard, or what are they doing with it? I mean, in an ordinance at least would cover, I mean, disposal and things like that.
Well, and I think the other part of it that we need to investigate is how many chickens are allowed in certain zoning areas or zoned areas based on the county ordinance. They may only be allowed so many chickens in an R2 zone. You know, I think we need to know all the rules before I think we need to put another layer on here of regulation.
Well, this ordinance from Commonwealth says four chickens.
Yeah, 4 chickens.
In an R1 and an R2 zone, period, done.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only ones you're going to have the ordinance.
Most of them say that. I mean, if you go and look
Right.
at
If
some
you go to
of those.
agriculture, A3, they can have chickens.
Exactly.
Right. Then it goes to the animal unit.
So the only one, yeah, it goes by animal units, and whatever. So, I
If
think it'd be good to have the setbacks, no roosters.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, roosters would be bad.
I just don't know.
We got a lot of dogs in the
I'm thinking
neighborhoods
from an
too.
administrative standpoint, do we need this? Do we have to have this application that they fill out, has to get approved by us?
This ordinance states that you have to have the proof of livestock premises registration with the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture. So, yeah, I don't, as far as the application, I guess I can have that or leave it, or matter to me. But I think the ordinance, if you're getting complaints, it's just another tool for police to go up and, rather than doing a public nuisance ordinance, you've got an actual ordinance, so you've got a rooster crowing at 5 in the morning, things gotta go. Soup.
The other thing is, in the ordinance, something needs to be wrote in there as far as if there's a complaint and you go out and answer the complaint and find that the birds are not registered with dead heft, do then they automatically be removed? Or do they get a grace period to get them registered?
Wouldn't that be a state law?
Well,
Would
not,
that be
if you
for-
put it in the ordinance, and you could take the course, but then what are you gonna, what we would do?
Get a lot of
Right, yeah.
chickens in the back of the truck.
It's not like you take them to the impound lot.
We don't want
I
to
just
town hall.
curious, yeah, right, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things in the ordinance that make, I can just see it, you know, we're gonna get into a looks like a pretty hefty recession here. Egg prices are going up and everyone's gonna think it's a neat idea. And the next thing you know, you're gonna have hundreds of chickens in Short Egg neighborhood.
Well, what I'm saying though, from an administrative standpoint, you have me. I don't need a bunch of forms coming in. If we can regulate it through just an ordinance and then deal with it on the violation side of it, if they're not complying with that ordinance, that would be very helpful. Unless we absolutely have to gather this amount of information from them, I would say try to keep it simple.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to talk to those guys over there, but I know they don't like any chickens near their facility, you know.
Yeah.
And we do, I mean, we have a big agricultural business to protect in this township too,
This
so
would be all the farm.
we do have some
It would just be
obligation.
for R1 zone.
Do what we can anyway.
R1 and R2,
Yeah.
residential.
Residents, so like Sherwood Hills. and
Short
stuff.
Hills,
Go right
Elm
to
Point.
Elm Point.
So we have, again, I didn't look at that, I didn't know anything about this, but in the cities, which is different, we have ordinances too related to chickens. You can have up to 6, I know, in the city I work for, without any roosters.
And there's no limits on residents, like every resident could have 6 chickens.
No, every property.
Every property could have one.
Can have up to 6 total. But then you can't have any other pets. You can have up to, actually, I'm messing that up, I think 6 max animals, so you couldn't have a dog or a cat or anything else, if you had all 6 of them. But then we have an ordinance with no roosters, but there's no permit. They could just have a coop, they can have chickens.
Okay.
They can have all that, I never,
Everybody's different, I just
yeah.
curious as
And
to,
I didn't know if, like, again, I don't know what the history of this chicken, the permit is, but is that like an exemption if they want to go more than that, like the city, the town?
I think that's just a revenue maker for them.
I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost anything to get the premises permit from the DNR, or Department of Agriculture.
Right.
You just,
No.
you can do it right online.
They just have
Send
to
your
show
number back.
proof.
Right, then if there's somebody that complains, they would have to show proof that they registered them with the state, right?
Well, the purpose of that number for the state is to track when they get the diseases.
When they get
Right.
diseases, yeah.
Then they know where every chicken in the county is.
Right.
And that's, yeah, I mean, that would be the only, you know, I guess, in, people do this, whether this exists or not, any of it. But if you did have permitting or some kind of approval process, for them to be able to do it, you would have better record of that and know that. Whereas, you know, the county emailed us this spring wanted us to go out to
Yeah.
count chickens. Well, because they didn't know where they were at.
But is it?
So that means there's
Yeah,
But isn't
people
that
that are
already
doing
supposed to be
it.
regulated by the state then?
Right.
Yeah.
I would just, if it'd be me, I'd say, if you're required to register through that whatever program.
Right, but nobody
And if you have
does.
a problem, then there's gotta be a number we can call, hey, is this address
Yeah.
registered chickens? No. Well, then, we don't have to keep the records of it, be like, well, you're in violation because you're not recording.
Right, we can help
And you
enforce
could
it.
enforce it still without even having a permit, because they're still not meeting the requirements. And we don't have to keep the record of that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't, I don't want to punish anybody that has them, because I know there's people that have had them before this stuff even started or the complaints started, but,
I've never had any chicken complaints personally.
yeah.
It's just
I
coming,
was
it's just
gonna
like,
say,
It's just
haven't-
started. There's,
trying to
there's
think.
some big, you know,
is it onesie twosie complaints? Because those pop up.
yeah, but it's, it's a pretty big residential neighborhood.
I can't think of any complaints within the last 2 years of chickens, myself. I'm the one that gets a lot of the phone calls, unless you're getting some in your neighborhood, Tom,
Yeah, there
that
is.
I'm not aware of.
There's one right behind my house now, or kitty corner. They make noise.
Well, Tom,
They do
can
make
you-
noise. And I got bird dogs, they don't like that. That doesn't go so well.
And as far as the coop you're talking about, Tom, they have to abide by the 10-foot setback.
Yeah, and that may not be going on either, so I mean, it's, once again, these things are resurrecting and who knows how big they're making them. You know, the one looked pretty big behind that
Well,
one
if it's
house.
over 100 square feet, they have to have a building permit for it.
10 by 10, yeah.
Yeah, so this one says that they have to see the building inspector.
Yep,
And that's whether it's a coop or a shed, doesn't matter. That's just what the building code is.
Any electrical has to be done by a licensed electrician.
so anyways,
This
it's,
ordinance is pretty good, it needs a little bit refining. As far as the permit, you could take a look at it.
I don't want, I mean, we don't want to make it a pain in
Don't
the
need
butt.
it.
That's not the intent, obviously. But it is to get a little bit more of a handle on it if it does start, it is popping up and it's, there's potentially going to be a lot more of it.
Yeah. Especially no roosters and to be able to limit the number of.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think are the two huge things. And to keep them on your own property. Leashed, right?
Well, I got a chance to bring this back at the next meeting, so we're gonna
Yeah,
go through it.
absolutely,
Everybody go through
absolutely.
it, mark it up before we.
Well,
So I make a motion to bring it back at the next meeting.
Sorry.
any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries to bring it back. All right, discussion or decision of tax bond for town treasurer.
Oh. I was looking at that word.
I don't even have any information.
You don't want the application.
It was that email.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't get that? I know I forwarded it.
Got it?
Oh, I bet I was just
for the
wondering what they
application.
read.
I know it's hard to see. It printed very small.
Yeah. We just have to have it to cover
Yeah,
the
I
state
remember
or
seeing
the
that.
town taxes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll let
this
them
is
know that. They gotta figure this out.
Yeah, we have to have it to cover the town taxes that are.
So what value are we looking at?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. $500,000 for $100, 1.2 million for 237, or 3.6 million for 7-Eleven.
It depends what our town taxes are gonna be.
Right.
That's what we're gonna use. We don't know what that is yet.
So you two are gonna decide at some date?
We'll have to figure out what the tax amount's gonna be and then calculate it from that.
Yeah.
So you can give permission to use the town's levy amount to calculate the bond.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
Because, Shannon, you don't allow anybody to come to your house anymore, that all has to be done by mail, but this is just in case if somebody makes a mistake, right?
Yeah. If in case I decide to take off with.
I hardly doubt it, but.
Yeah.
Can I go on?
Wanna go along?
Yeah, 3 months.
Okay.
January, February, March.
You didn't call a question yet on that one.
Yep, I will.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
This bad.
Discussion and/or decision of appointments to
Look at it later.
vacant committee position, joint Rockland committee. We don't have any appointments, unless somebody else has one. Nope. Discussion or decision of updating the town fee schedule for 2023.
I put that on there because we need to think about that as we go into the budget. And by December, we should have a draft of that to, so, a resolution.
So you're not suggesting any changes at this point?
No.
You just want
I
us
want
to review it?
So we don't forget to do it.
Yep, got it.
If we need to make changes during the budget calculations.
Okay, so no action tonight?
All right, discussion or decision to change a date for November meeting, electors meeting, and possible public hearing meeting due to November election. Calendar.
Robin?
6th is
Okay.
the election. 8th.
8th.
Bump it back to the 15th?
What do you mean?
What is that? I forgot a dot on there. Oh, it's just
Is that what you want to do, the 15th?
Tom's gotta get his calendar.
No.
I don't think that's right. Does that give you enough breathing time after the election?
Yeah, it's almost over.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Make a motion to hold the November meeting on the 15th of November at 7:00 PM.
Second.
Any other discussion?
The only thing I would say is that's also gonna include
Yeah.
public hearing and the electors meeting that we have to have some things listed on.
Is it budget?
Right, they have to
Approval.
approve the highway budget,
Okay, so that's a special meeting beforehand.
right,
So,
and then there is the public, I think it's a public hearing. I have to look at all my notes, but
No,
there's a
we
few
should-
other things that have to happen in November.
we should be okay at 7, right?
I think so.
7:00, that's my motion.
And I still second it.
Okay.
Good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. All right, discussion or decision of trip forward funds for Rock Lake Road and Mud Lake Road for the 2018-19 stop program cycle, sunset date of
Tom.
3.
You gotta talk louder.
Oops, sorry. Winding down here, I guess. Discussion or decision of trip LRIP funds for Rock Lake Road and Mud Lake Road for the 2018-2019 West Stop program cycle with a sunset date of June 30th, 2023. So,
Okay.
I thought that our town engineer was redoing this application for that money, but no?
For the Rock Lake Road?
Rock Lake Road we got.
For,
Yeah, we already announced that.
But I think it was to get it so that it could be extended.
That's extended. This is the old one, June 30th, 2023. And that one's just
okay, so that one,
vaporized.
that $191,000 has been extended.
No,
190.
he reapplied for it.
We
got it.
reapplied for
That's what I thought.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. So this year.
And whatever the current,
It was
costs were.
192,000.
And we don't know when that sunset is.
the sunset, that one's,
2026?
yeah, it's 6 or 7, yeah, it's later. That one, we were have a lot of flexibility on that one, so, no rush.
So you're only dealing with the Mud Lake Road one?
Well, no, so, okay, no, Mud Lake Road is on here
Yeah.
because, and this was before my time,
Yeah.
you must have done another, all right, well,
Mine
I don't know
too.
who was on there,
Mine
but
is.
we don't know if it's Korth Lane or,
It was left over from Court Lane, is how I
there was
read it.
monies left over from Korth Lane for like $5,000 or something like that, that we need to use.
Okay, and that's at the county though, right?
Uh,
State.
This is
state,
the state.
this is state.
It was a grant, 50/50 grant.
Yep. And so,
Previous chairperson rolled it over to Mud Lake Road.
yep, and so what we need to do is, and this is where it gets tricky, is we need to find like another simple project that's like a mill and overlay or something like that, a smaller one, that will fit within our financial constraints to be able to use that money by this date, the 23rd, it would be of June.
So
It
we
has to
have,
be, done and paid for, and then
Yes,
everything submitted by the 20th.
right,
So I don't know if you can even do that.
so we'd have to actually we'd have to actually put something out there for a smaller road, like if there was something we could think of where it wasn't gonna cost us a lot of money that we could match that with.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be a lot, but it just,
because it's $5,000, basically, is what is
Right.
listed here.
Turn it back in, Steve.
all right, I'm just throwing it out there.
I know, but I don't think you could ever do it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be easy, I know that.
You've got to have drawings or something written up and submitted, and then done, approval, completed, paid for by June.
So then would it be, if we let it go back to the state, would it just be allowing to hit the sunset date then?
Yeah, it's just gonna disappear, you know, you just don't get the money.
Or you can write in a letter and tell them.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
You can give it to someone
Okay.
else.
Okay.
yeah, I can talk to Brian about that. And he said that because he got notified, and he's like, well, I wish they would've notified all of us 6 months ago. And so, I was- yeah, but it is what it is.
You can't roll it over into anything else, it has to be with Mud Lake.
No, it doesn't. We could do it on any project we wanna do
Oh,
it.
but we had to have
But
a
it would,
project.
he said it would have to be, he said, keep it simple, like mill and overlay, or, you know,
Okay,
something that
gotcha.
would be feasible to do. You know, so it'd have to be a very small segment of a road, or a small road, or something that you can think. Yeah, and I'm like, well, it's too late for Shore Acres.
Okay,
So, cause that one
do
was,
we need a motion on that one?
I'll make a motion to notify state and turn the money back into them, so use it on some other project.
Second.
okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. All right. Correspondence.
Nothing?
I'm sure in here.
Just the late stuff, that the police gun or whatever.
Yeah, I should say, Kevin, I'm surprised he didn't cover that. He was proposing that they purchase a new, pro laser, because their one that they have is older, and we have some money left in their budget yet this year, so he'd like to purchase it yet this year, so I don't know if you need that on the agenda for next month, it's 2,300, it's not
Yeah.
a large amount for necessarily.
Put it on
needing
next
approval.
agenda.
Oh, you wanna just do it at the budget for Thursday? Do it right there?
No, budget is, it's a workshop, but I mean, for this amount, I don't know if we actually have to have an approval for him to be able to purchase it, do we? For 2,000 some dollars?
If he's got the money in
It's
his
within the budget, right?
It's in their budget, I think they can go ahead and do it.
Okay.
tell him to do it.
It's not
Okay.
$500,000.
I didn't, yeah, just go with it.
All right. Other than that, that was about all I had.
the fire contract and stuff, wasn't that in here? Didn't that come in? We know about that last month already, that price. The city fire contract, which was $295,036.39 for 2023. That letter.
What agenda item are we on, Tom?
We're still on correspondence.
Okay, yeah, that's budget stuff.
Yep, okay. All right. Discussion of future agenda items.
So I've got chicken ordinance on there, we've got the other ordinances that we were working on. What else do we have? That we didn't cover tonight. Items that are all on table, so like the EMS, like Mills EMS.
Yeah, we need to,
EMS proposed, that shouldn't be guardrails. If you put it
Gotta
back
take
on,
it
put
out.
it land acquisition.
Crossman Road,
Proposed land acquisition.
okay.
Text amendments, like you said, for the ordinances. Cambridge EMS, I suppose you want to leave that on there, yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if you want to put that AIS citizens thing on there, just.
I think
not unless it's not, if it's not
I was
done.
gonna say, let's wait until we actually have something to show us.
Yeah,
Then the, I don't know,
Residency
the ordinance,
Bridge?
you dropped the ordinance for the Rock Lake Committee, that was dropped off of this one.
Right,
We'll put that one back on.
you want it back on?
Yeah, I want to move on that. I don't like anything we decided on that, so.
Okay. All right, what about Britsky Bridge discussion?
hopefully we're gonna have some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drainage board, you got that one, you just said that?
Yep.
Chickens, got that one.
Appointments,
Appointments.
Not unless there's a.
You got neither
public-
one, right?
Well, Public Works would be better right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
That would be the high priority.
Well, I think you should leave on so we don't lose track of it.
right.
Yeah.
Joint Rock Lake Committee and the Public Works one.
Yep.
Should both be on there.
Okay,
And then,
town fee schedule yet?
yeah, fee schedule.
Yeah, that should be pretty easy to get that one off. Yep.
Okay. All right, good, that helps.
Okey-doke. Meeting scheduled October 12th, 2022, Town Hall Facilities Committee, 6 PM Town Hall, October 13th. Budget workshop at Town Hall, 6:30. November 1st, 2022, Plan Commission meeting, 7 PM at the Town Hall. November 3rd, 2022, Parks Committee meeting, 7 PM at the Town Hall. TBA is a town board meeting, which was decided on the 15th at 7 PM at the Town Hall on November. And November 10th, 2022, Joint Rock Lake Committee meeting, 6 PM at City Hall.
I'm gonna read the closed session so that it's on the record of what the state statute is.
Okay, can we get a motion to move into closed session? The town board will move into closed session under state statute 19.851E. The nature of business to be considered in the closed session is as following: deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session.
Make a motion to move into closed session.
Second.
Any other discussion?
One of those two is gonna be in closed session. We have the town board members, and Sharon and I.
Board members, Clerk and treasurer.
And we got Jason Forrest.
and
Doug.
Okay,
How do you spell your last name?
MULAY.
Okay. All right.
motion's been made, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Moving to closed session.